Welcome back, Nuggets. This mother clucker's got some thoughts. Let's ruffle some feathers and get into this live stream. Hello everybody. Say hello if you're coming in. I really keen to see who's in here today. Hi Christiana. Yes, first one. Well done. Hello. How is everybody today? Or tonight, probably, if my demographics are correct. It is in the middle of the day and it is a very bright sunshiny day here in Australia. Okay, so I thought today I wanted to do a catch up on Amber Lynn and her videos that she has released this week, which we will start with the what I ate today, which is technically from last week's videos, but given the way I'm streaming, I will never catch up with them properly. Hey Star, first time catching me live. Yes, this is actually only my 4th live stream, so I'm still pretty new at this, but it's really good to see you here. Hey Giselle, making tiramisu macarons. Oh, I didn't know I needed that today, but now I need that. And apparently, word on the street is that Amber announced a break, which I haven't actually read the community post, but that might actually be convenient timing. We can catch up with Candy next weekend. Okay, shall we get into it? Let's get started. I've actually reconstructed the way I'm doing this, so I should actually be able to skip through videos now, which is really good because we don't want to do the oracle stuff. We don't want to do the whole stuff. It was torture last week having to watch it all happen. So let's hear what she has to say. This is what I ate. She released this like last Sunday.
Hello. So it is the end of the night, but I forgot to film an intro. So welcome to another what I ate today video.
Oh, and can you also tell me about audio levels? Are things correct? Does everything sound, does my voice sound the same as the video? Things like that. Hey, Foof. Hello. Nice to see you here again.
All right, you guys. So my first meal, I made a chicken sausage in the air fryer, some mac and cheese, raw onion, and a raw carrot here. All right, you guys. So I'm just eating my food. So I recently found out that those little tiny baby carrots that everyone eats, they're like highly processed and there's actually like no nutrients in there. I was like, what? So then I felt compelled to just get like the big carrot.
Is that a thing? I don't think that's a thing. I mean, I think they're considered processed because they're cut down, but like it's still a carrot. American nuggets, you might know better than I do in this situation. I can't see how a baby carrot is going to have less nutrients than a normal carrot. Oh, and I just want to say, I have not seen any of these videos, so I'm going to be watching it. This is a pure reaction.
So I de-shedded it. That's a gross word. What's it called? When you take off the skin? I forget what it's called. And I'm sensing a difference. I definitely prefer these. And the mac and cheese is just a single serving. And I had some pre-cut white onion that I thought would be really tasty with this chicken sausage. Oh my god, it's hot. I just put it in the air fryer for 10 minutes.
I'm okay, but Amber's a little low. Okay. How do I do that? I wonder if my actual audio will affect the way this is perceived. You think they're washed in a sanitizing solution? I suppose that would make sense because to cut them down, you technically you're opening it up to the elements. It's not in its own little contained package anymore, so to speak. They don't taste right. Okay, fair enough. Not even in Canada. I'll be perfectly honest with you, Nuggets. I've never actually had them here. I just get carrots. I don't know. This US nugget says negative. Who have we got? Okay, I'm really trying to learn everybody's names because I'm not super great. I've noticed when I'm going through the comments, I kind of pay attention to the comment, not the name, but some of you are showing up a lot and I really want to learn your names. So, hey, Kate Rose, you were in my premiere the other day, I remember. And Star and Boy Tiger Rockin'. I like that. I'm going to call you Tiger. Tell me if this is louder for you guys.
Mm-hmm. That's good. And this was pre-cut onion because I actually cut some onion up, not last night, but the night before for dinner. And I had leftover onion, so this was in the fridge. So it takes away its like potency. So it's just like a light onion flavor.
Anyone else hate the way she says potency? Potency? It's like, it's interesting because a lot of her other speech, she actually clips words or says them incorrectly, but potency? I don't know. I'm feeling a little bit sassy today, my nuggets. I'll give you a fair warning on that.
Delicious.
Okay, let's run this through the nutrition checks, shall we? So I see cheese, I see bacon, and I see deep fried something and a whole lot of gravy. So that is a big fat 0.
25.
You guys, I'm having another carrot. I don't know what it is, but this is so satisfying. Oh. I'm obsessed. It reminds me of those like ASMR soap videos. If you know, you know. Some people just go, I'm telling you, go back and forth. Like, oh, satisfying. All right, you guys, so I'm having a carrot, some salami, black olives, brie cheese, and some Triscuits. My eating has been really weird today. Oh my God, these black olives, so good. Like today at bingo, I just did not want one of them ham salads. Just was not in it to win it. So I got loaded tots, and they were actually really good because that's what my mom got last week. And when I saw it, I was like, oh, that looks really good. So
so where are we at exactly? I've kind of lost track. The last I heard, she stopped counting calories, which seems consistent with what's going on here. But she also, at the same time, like we've seen her with a giant sausage now. Oh God, that's not good. That's not good. Don't say that. And a whole lot of cheese and loaded nonsense. So like, I'm guessing we're not really watching what we're eating at this point.
I decided to try it this week. It was good. I love a carrot. So how's everyone's day been? Like you guys can actually answer me right now. Can you imagine? I'm about to make the perfect bite. Yum. Look at that. Oh, dropped a crumb on my shirt. So I have been keeping my food journal. This is what my food journal looks like. Super cute. So how I do it, I put the date up top. I put what time I have my meals, and I'll put like a cute little cloud around it. And then I have like a liquid section because I'm curious, how much liquid is your girl drinking? There are some days that go by where I barely drink any, and I'm trying to drink more water. I actually bought a Brita filter, so thank you, thank you.
Yeah, her hydration levels are really concerning. And it actually, even if you are mildly dehydrated, it actually affects how your body burns calories in a total sense. So that would be a really, really good way for her to boost her metabolism. You should actually bother learning to cook. It's like she has no concept of a healthy meal that actually tastes good. Not the giant sausage. Yeah, I totally agree, Foof. I think I am very, very late to the game with cooking because Arrested Development, yes. There was a lot of fear in my upbringing constructed around the kitchen, so that carried through a little longer than I am happy with, but I have learned how to cook now, and it's absolutely amazing. Like, if you have a stocked pantry of just spices and herbs, you can do a lot with very little. There are a lot of simple recipes to learn that are healthier, absolutely. Oh, easy, very much healthier than fast food, easily. I don't know about you guys, but I find just the oil content in these things, and you can tell that it's like old oil and everything as well. Just for that alone, it's gonna be healthier.
Round of applause. I'm going to be drinking sink water. Not excited for it. I just have weird thoughts about drinking sink water. I don't mind cooking with it because you're like boiling out the nonsense of it all. But my brain is literally telling me that there's worms in sink water. I don't know. All right, you guys.
And what do I say about listening to our brain at all times? Absolutely ridiculous. I'm sorry, I need to have a little bit of an OCD rant here, and potentially any sort of personality disorder level things. I'm not at all talking about, the schizophrenic level, just the personality level. Even into things like ADHD and to a point autism and things like that. We know that we have these things about us and that maybe our brain does not think in quite the same way as a neurotypical brain. We may have like different processing issues or ways that our brain is more inclined to think, particularly in the OCD realm, where it really does tend to gravitate towards what she's describing here. Not at all saying that she actually has OCD, but this is what she's describing. It doesn't mean that we need to live our lives by that requirement. I think that's why I'm always hesitant about, do you really need to get diagnoses, or is it just going to lead to overthinking about it unless you need medication? I think it's just about acknowledging where you're at, seeing what works best with you and what doesn't work, and then working with that. So there's no point where these things are being used as an excuse to, do or not do something. But Amber takes them and goes, oh, well, I can't do this because I think there's worms in the water. That's not the adult way to approach things. It's nonsensical completely. You agreed with the sink water until the worms part. Yeah, it's very unlikely that there's going to be worms in the water. Very. We're not digging from a well in the middle of Africa here where guinea worms are a thing. If you don't know what guinea worms are and you want to look that up, enjoy. I think it depends where you live and how good quality the filter is. Yeah. But there's nothing wrong with just having a filter. And even if you wanted to treat the water yourself by boiling it and things like that, it's fine. Definitely chemical and metal levels. Yeah, and it depends where you live, of course. But she is in a major city. I'm guessing that the water has some standards. I know that America has even higher standards than Australia does in a lot of respects. So I think she'll be fine. I don't think she'll get worms.
So, for a little sweet dessert here, it's 150 calories for 3. So for now, I'm gonna have 2. I have the option to have one later. It's milk chocolate, sea salt caramel. Ugh, look at the salt. It's honestly so good.
Okay, I'm sorry to keep pausing her, but she's being ridiculous. So 150 calories for 3 just small squares of those, which is pretty much on par with any sort of chocolate block. I don't know if any of the nuggets that are in at the moment are on kind of more calorie restrictive weight loss journeys at the moment. I am. I'll put my hand up. But I always really want to create the most volume of food for the calories that are being taken in, just because I don't like the feeling of feeling like I'm depriving myself. And for me, I find that if the volume's there, I don't feel that way. And I'm thinking about 150 calories and what I could do. I have these little jelly Greek yogurt dessert things that I make, and it would be like a liter worth of that is still under 150 calories. So yes, just saying, it's just not going to go that far. And also I worry that it's continuing the That's the word I'm looking for. It starts with an A, but I can't say it, and it's for an intensity around something that you need it and you feel compulsion to have it. I think that this kind of thing would trigger that in her.
All right, you guys, so that is all I'm eating for the night. Now it is time for food for thought. Was there a moment where I felt proud of a choice I made today? I guess I'm just like proud of the fact that I didn't overeat, I didn't have fast food. How did my emotions show up in my eating today? While eating the loaded tots, I did feel guilty, and I shouldn't have. That's just another example of how I need to work on my relationship with food. I'm able to eat things like that in moderation, and I should not feel guilty about it.
Does anyone see a red flag with that? Hey, John, I feel that you might be trying to communicate with me, but I'm not presently picking up what you're putting down. I am sorry. Hello, though. Thanks for coming in. I think that anyone who's had that kind of intensity around a substance or whatever it may be, whether it's psychological or physiological, I think that kind of, oh, I'm just going to bargain with it. If I just have it in moderation, it'll be okay. You're just joking. That's okay. You can throw emojis. I don't mind. Oh, yeah, thank you. I'm glad you're here too. But I think it's, I mean, clearly Amber is in that kind of intensity with food, right? And I just think that this kind of trying to rationalize it and bargain it through, this is a huge warning sign. It's never going to work, because as soon as she experiences stress in her life, or something goes wrong, or she just doesn't feel good, she will return back to the behavior because it's accessible, because it's in her life consistently. And the reality is, if you don't bring it into your house, you can't have it. It's as simple as that.
What am I learning about myself through this process? Well, I learned today I'm kind of over my salad kick. So now I need to find something to put in replace for that, because I was getting salads a lot for my meals. But I do that. I go through like fixations where I really enjoy something and I'll have it every single day, and then I'll just get sick of it. But anyways, that is the end of this video. I hope that you guys did enjoy, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye. Hello.
So, some of you have asked me about my BED related, recovery from that. And I really put a lot of credit into keeping food simple and repetitive, because for me, I found that, yeah, I used to do that as well, what Amber just described, of having, moving in and out of fads of food, and then you overeat some of them and wind up being completely unbalanced with them. And I actually found a lot of comfort in repeating the same sorts of food over and over, and it kind of becomes a bit more like, oh, this is fuel, so I don't need to think about it as much. I know it's nutritionally balanced, and I know that it's good for me and it sits well, and that way I'm not getting into the mindset of thinking about it all the time, because I think the thinking of it is, at least for me, what was causing a really big hang up. So is that the carrot right now? What? Which carrot? What? Sorry, you've lost me, Star. Okay, so that was her what I ate today, which was kind of, I mean, I don't think we saw the whole day there. But let's move on. This is her vlog from this week.
Good morning, you guys. So if I look tired, I am tired. And if I look like my eyes are swollen, probably because they are. Sometimes you just need a crying session literally right before you fall asleep. So I actually have my doctor's appointment today, because if you guys watched my weekly vlog, my doctor's office was sending me text messages of when like a new appointment was popping up, because my appointment wasn't for a month. But I kept clicking accept, well, responding with the word accept, not quick enough. I finally did it, you guys. I finally did it. Yesterday, me and my mom were out, and I replied to accept so freaking fast. Like, I have been glued to my phone just waiting for another text message, and I made it. It's crazy because this doctor's appointment went from oh, I'm excited because I want to be on Zipbound and I want to talk to my doctor about it, to, oh, I'm anxious and nervous because I have an elevated D dimer. I'm still having this really weird pain. If you guys haven't seen my video, I've been having.
Oh, please don't do the movement again. We got a little obscene last week. It's not good. I mean, I think it's understandable to be nervous about going to the doctors. I certainly get nervous about going to the doctors, but when when you're in this condition though, I think this should probably be a regular part of life to make sure that things aren't developing that can be completely controlled in the long run, but are just like festering in a sense underneath it all.
Just like this sharp left pain, and I feel it like down here, and like I was feeling it at one point like through my boob.
She did it again.
I felt a little bit in my back. And I think about it, and it is reminiscent to a few years ago when I was getting CT scans on my lungs. And at first they were like, you could have lung cancer. And then it moved on to a blood clot. And then it moved on to a collapsed lung. And then it moved on to walking pneumonia. Like, I got my results back literally like a week ago, and I still have that weird thing that they saw last time. I don't know. Plus, I really want to test again for diabetes. So I did a whole fasting. I haven't ate for over 12 hours. There's just a lot of boxes that I want to tick off and talk to him about. It no longer is a fun little, ooh, Zepbound, ooh, weight loss injection. Now it's like something deeper and scarier, and I'm just not really excited for it. I'm really nervous.
So is she like, she's, I think, 34 at this point? She'll be turning 35 this year. I think I'm tracking that correctly. Um, this is going to get more and more frequent for her. She's starting to reach that point. And you kind of look at Candy, Hungry Fat Chick, if you've caught that content. She's 53 this year. And so it's kind of like seeing where Amber Lynn is heading down the track. And as bleak as it is, Candy is exceeding the like age limit of living like this. Usually like she's beat the odds already is what I'm trying to say. And Amber being in her mid 30s, there is such a shift when you hit your 30s. You really become aware that there are certain things that need to be handled differently. And for me, it actually happened exactly at 30. And I realized that warm up and warm down before and after exercise was no longer optional because I was going to injure myself. And it's just these little like bio shifts. I don't know, have any of the nuggets, I'm pretty sure some of the nuggets in right now are over 30. Did you feel this? And that's what people are talking about a lot with Eugenia at the moment too. It's like there's just something different about that decade. And for Amber, if she doesn't get it together and actually start to make differences, she's just going to keep facing this kind of thing more and more. And if this is terrifying her, it's just going to get worse. Every condition has a point where we might get a thought of awareness, but for you, it was mid-20s for mental health. Oh, yeah, so relatable there. I get that. A big shift, yeah. It does, it gets worse the older you get, yeah. You really have to start caring for your body in a way that I think you can get away with not doing when you're in your 20s. Yep. Hello, Millennial Nuggets. I see you there. Hey, Giselle. Nice to see you back again. And Katie, hello.
Be sweet. Hi guys, so currently at the vet again. It's actually 2 days later. I have not filmed anything since after my doctor's appointment, but I talked about kind of a little bit of what happened at my doctor's appointment in my weigh-in video. And for those who do not watch, I'm going to edit down a very, very condensed version of that for you guys here. So I've been going through a lot of stress, anxiety, worry, depression, some very low lows. I have shared a very small fraction of it, but majority of it is happening behind the scenes. I'm absolutely, without a doubt, suffering in silence. So I did have my doctor appointment yesterday.
I don't equate Amber Lynn with suffering in silence. Is anybody else getting that vibe? Is that a thing? Sorry, John is just looking at nuggies. That's so cute. I'm glad you guys don't mind. Very, very occasionally, not many people at all, get really infuriated with being called a nugget. It is fully a term of affection. I call my chickens noodles because you know chicken noodles, and you guys are chicken nuggets. Nuggets. It's cute. It's my thing. It's what I do.
They ask you like this depression screening. They ask you all these like mental health questions, and mine was not good. I ended up literally breaking down in front of my doctor and in front of my mom. I'm like bawling my eyes out. They're handing me tissue. Like I had a full-fledged like anxiety attack right in front of him. It was really embarrassing, but it genuinely shows like the level of my mental health. I'm feeling everything so strongly and so deeply. My emotions are all over the place and I feel really low, and just a lot of mental health problems that I do not want to speak out loud. I just have constant, deep, painful emotions that I experience all day long, and it's genuinely ruining my life. Long story short, I was prescribed an SSRI to help with my anxiety, my lows, my depression, and to help with like the deep feelings of having BPD. It's not going to help regulate my emotions or anything like that. Like I have to work on that myself. But
okay, so she had this in the title, and I saw this, which is why I thought maybe she's actually doing something really positive. And I think some sort of medical support for her brain chemistry is probably a really good idea. But the trouble with antidepressants is that they're only going to be as good as you work for them, in a sense. You know, it's not this magic pill that just, you know, miraculously fixes all of your bad thoughts and your mood and your energy. And I think really what they do is put you in a place to be able to start sorting through everything. And given the way Amber is with her weight loss, I worry that she's going to think that she can just take this and then it will all be okay. And I know that she's verbalizing the contrary of this right now, but I think she is probably parroting what the doctor said at this point. Yeah, exactly. Add in some CBT with it. Just like anything, really. Even, and I know that this would never happen for Amber, but like exercise is such a wonderful way to support an antidepressant. And you know, is she prepared for the fact that these take some time, and potentially even playing with the types of antidepressants before they find the right one? And this is a work in progress kind of thing, but hopefully it's a positive thing for her to be doing. If she has BPD, she really needs to do group DBT. Yeah, well, I mean, apparently she was seeing a therapist who specialized in DBT, but your guess would be as good as mine whether she's still doing that. Hey, Greta! She was recently doing solo work for... Yeah. Yeah, the therapist told her to stop because she just picked up this workbook and it may have been, like, contrary to what they were working on. It can really take a long time. Yeah. I was put on an SSRI first, and SSRIs and I do not mix very well at all. And it took many years to get the right one, and the right dose, and to be honest, the right doctor to do it, really. And then people stop taking them out of fear. Yeah, and it's risky too because, like, Amber has this history of just picking up and putting things down. And when you're dealing with brain chemistry affecting things, it can be really dangerous to just stop. But hopefully, it's going to be like a step in the right direction, because if she can get out of her own fear and get out of her own way, and really have that realization that nobody is coming to save her. It has to be her that does it. If she can achieve that, which maybe an antidepressant will be able to give her the clarity to start processing that, then maybe she can start to work on her weight. But the problem is, and this is the problem with Candy as well, time begins to be of the essence. And the longer she clucks around, the less time she has to fix it. And that's what worries me the most.
It's going to help stabilize me a little bit. So we did my fasting labs and I got those results today. Regarding if I have diabetes or not, I want to show you this clip. All right, you guys, my results are in. This is my MacBook. We're zoomed in so you don't see anything personal. I'm signed into my little health portal. I'm gonna click test results. So we did a multitude of things here, but we're about to find out. Here's my hemoglobin A1C to determine am I diabetic or not. All right, no, oh my gosh. I'm telling you, 5.4 is my actual exact number that I always am every time I get.
But this is playing with fire too. I think I've discussed this in other videos as well. Like, diabetes can just be one of those funny things that are more genetic linked than like lifestyle linked. It can be. And like active people can still get it if it's like in the genetics and things like that. But she is playing with fire here. This is not going to stay this way forever. She's been lucky. And mid-30s, she's pushing it. Hope she doesn't expect it to start right away. Yeah, absolutely. Even if the current SSRI that she's on is the correct one for her, let's just say she lucks out and that's perfect straight up. It takes months for it to settle and to find the right dose. And, you know, lifestyle and diet and activity levels affect it so much that is she going to need to have quite a much higher dose, or is it going to take longer to get there? Not to be blunt, this is surprising. Yeah, she's lucky. And I think in the same way that Eugenia has been lucky, this is like a genetic lottery kind of situation, but it's only going to go so far. And she's really pushing the limits of that.
Get this checked. So not even a pre-diabetic. So pre-diabetic would be 5.7 through 6.4. I do not have diabetes. I'm not even pre-diabetic. There is something that I'm going to be going on medicine for. Turns out I have hypothyroidism. That's so hard.
Okay, madam, you are in my territory now. Okay, let's talk about hypothyroidism. Are there any nuggets in here that have this? So, hypothyroidism is where basically your thyroid is getting a little lazy for whatever reason. Hey, Katie, you do. Yeah, welcome to the club. And it is kind of an umbrella term because many different things can actually cause this. And for me, mine was caused by the Eugenia end of my condition that I had. For many years, my mother was encouraging heavy calorie restrictions, and it's basically just caused my body to then go, oh, okay, so this is what we're operating on now, so we're going to slow everything right down to match that kind of intake. And it does make it harder to lose weight. It makes it easier to gain weight, and it makes you really clucking tired like all the time because your body is slowed. It is depending on what the cause of it is, because it can be like a cancer thing which would need surgery, but if it's just that it's a little lazy, for whatever reason. It's really, really easily medicated, like super easy. It's not even a hardcore medication. It's kind of, in essence, a little bit more like a vitamin supplement because it's just supplementing what your body creates in the first place. But it's not a vitamin, don't get me wrong. Your mum has hypothyroidism. Yeah, it's fairly common, I think, and it's not horrendous. Once you like the antidepressant, it just takes a while to get the dose right. Hey Robin, yes, you caught me live. Sup, Mama Hen? Oh, I like that. I'm good. How are you? You didn't get a cause. It's really one of those funny things. It can be caused by so many things. Just unlimited access to junk food. Relatable. You've had hypothyroidism? Oh, it's rooted in a vitamin D deficiency. Yeah, see what I mean? It's just this umbrella term, but so many different causes. But in the vast majority of them, they're really easy to correct. In my case, I'll probably always have it, but you know, it's manageable. That's cute. Yeah, mama hen. Well, I am a mama hen. Yeah, Katie, it's not always vitamin D. Wouldn't it be nice just to have a vitamin D tablet? Such a comfy channel, really? Oh, that's so nice. I like that thought. Thank you. And you're my baby chooks, yes. Join my flock.
Hard to say for me. I don't know why. So people who have that is a leading cause of weight gain. Like I've constantly been like, it's hard for me to lose weight because of my lymphedema, my going through menopause at such an early age, the hysterectomy, like the list can just go on. And now, bam, smack in the face. I have the very thing that causes people to gain weight.
Okay, I mean, once again, we've got Amber not looking at things like an adult. So she is right. It really is easy. I find that when I was not medicated for it, I basically was gaining weight 4 times faster and losing weight 4 times slower. So any calorie deficiency that I was running was like cut down by a quarter effectively. And then what was worse was that then my body would go, oh, okay, so this is what we're operating on now. Let's slow everything down even more to match that deficiency. And it gets really complicated. But when I got the diagnosis, I was aware that it was going to take some time to get the right dosage. And so you start looking at things going, okay, so what is going to support my natural metabolism? What can I do to at least assist the medication in getting there faster? What can I do to not make this worse? And that comes down to calories, it comes down to hydration, it comes down to exercise, and it comes down to sleep in a nutshell, plus a couple of like supplements that you can take to help boost your metabolism. So this like over dramatic, oh, I've got the thing that makes people gain weight. Oh, it's just, yeah, that's one way to deal with it. It's not the appropriate way to deal with it. Comfy is the perfect word. Oh, you think my voice is warm? Thank you, Katie. You think it's pleasant. Did you know one of my like hesitancies of creating this channel was actually my voice. I didn't think it would be good for this kind of thing, but I decided to just, you know, cluck it, do it anyway. And now I'm getting this feedback. It's so nice. Yes, stress can be bad for hypothyroidism. It's really just trying to, I mean, stress is bad for everything, isn't it? It's trying to manage a balance in your systems. It is really the point. And even though my medication is correct now, I still have to be really, really careful because if I like had a like a week of poor eating or overeating, it does a lot more damage than it should in the weight department. Took you a while to use your voice in videos. Oh, you have a channel. What kind of videos do you do? I'm always interested to know what people are doing. Hey, Meat Master. I'm glad you're here. Nice to see you too. Your metabolism is shot due to iron and vitamin D deficiency. But overall, it's rooted with emotional eating. Ah, so relatable, Robin. You weren't truly taught self-regulation, so you have no self-control. But the good news is, I should so relate to that that comment, like on a deep level, because I definitely was leaning in the Eugenia way for a very, very long time, and that was my mother's influence. Then when I got rid of my mother, it was like, oh, I can just, eat whatever. And yeah, I hadn't learned that kind of self-control either. But the good news is it's a skill, just like everything else. So you start practicing it and eventually it becomes normal for you. So calories in versus calories out for hypothyroidism is not the way that, say, a normal metabolism would work, which is why I say when I say keep it simple, calories in versus calories out, unless there's a medical condition, that's kind of what I'm talking about. Because, for example, I know that I need to, in addition to a normal deficiency, say if I'm using an app, I would need to add another 400 for me, just because I know that that's how it works, to achieve the same as what the app says. So there's kind of it kind of works, it kind of doesn't. But then you've got to be careful not to go too far in the deficiency, because the thyroid will correct itself to keep up with that. You just do like a dog content and anxiety related occasionally, but... Oh, right, gotcha. Yep, sorry, your channel. I'm with you. I had a momentary lapse. And a VTuber. Oh, cool. I'll have to check you out. Yeah, so sorry if I'm not explaining this correctly. Say if you were counting your calories in a day and you wanted to run a 600 calorie deficiency, which would lose you about, half a kilo to a kilo a week, I would need to make it 1,000 to compensate for the low thyroid function. That's not a hard and fast number, that's just my body, but I'm just trying to highlight, perhaps badly, that you really, it's not a 1:1 for a normal person in that sense. You have to work so much harder to do it. You think it was your mother's influence? She would say, if you feel down, have a good meal. Yes. Oh, solid. Yeah. We should not have food as a comfort mechanism. It's not beneficial and it's not good quality. But yeah, bad habits taught for sure. But you can undo them. You totally can. Just practice a little bit each time. Currently working on it. Awesome. You went too far with intermittent fasting. Oh no. Maybe no more intermittent fasting, Kate. Have a doctor on there behind you. So Katie, even if I've found personally, if my thyroid is still regulated through medication and I'm exercising, it functions okay. But if I overeat for like a week and I'm not exercising, it does tend to get a little skewy a little too easily, if that makes sense. So I gain really fast. But then at least because it's medicated, if I correct my eating and I go back to exercising every day, then it works itself out again. It's just one of those things. I have to exercise. It is a critical part of my medication. You think she said it out of love? I have no doubt. My family is definitely, my mother aside, my family's definitely one of those ones where it's like you eat to celebrate, you eat to commiserate, you eat to feel happy, you eat to feel when you feel sad, things like that. So yeah, I get it. I do.
So on top of taking a medicine for that, I'm also going to be taking a vitamin D because it was a little low. It definitely has gotten higher every single time I've gotten it checked. So that's good. So updates about the elevated D dimer. My doctor said it could be due to when I had cellulitis or COVID. He isn't even sure what is causing it, so he's just guessing. I forgot to mention that in my weigh-in video, but I think it's because I just didn't think that it fit the video. But I start all of my medicines tomorrow. I am nervous to take any medicine, let alone tons at one time. And I'm also going to be taking one for the inflammation. I did mention that to you guys about a week ago where I was like, I don't know if I want to take it. The ER prescribed it to me. My doctor suggests that I do it because of the pain that I've been feeling, because it could be due to like nerve damage or it could be muscular, etc., etc. He thinks that'll help with that. It's called meloxicam. I don't know. So it's a lot of different medicines at once that I'm going to be starting on the exact same day. It makes me nervous. But I ordered off of Amazon a pill organizer because I need to take this seriously. All right, you guys.
I really hope she does take it seriously. I don't think any of those should affect one another, but I'm sure the doctor knows better than I. And you'll have some old grannies who show their love by insisting to eat. Yes, my grandmother's like that. Do I think her pain is due to her weight, specifically the pain that she's feeling in her chest? I don't know. I mean, it's so hard to tell, isn't it? Because being like as overweight as somebody like Amberlynn is, it affects so much more than you think it does. And I think that's why people get a little bit fussy when they go to the doctor and the doctor's fixating on the weight. But it's just because it's just so much of your being. I think it's probably likely, you know, horses not zebras, right? I'd say it's likely due to her weight.
Guys, so I'm just making some food right now. I have some onion that I just chopped up. I'm going to be using some lean beef here with some olive oil and garlic spaghetti sauce. Instead of using pasta, I'm going to be using French style green beans. It's honestly delicious this way. I'm also going to be adding some minced garlic. I was going to call it onion, but this is not onion. I should get fresh garlic and just like chop it myself. Onion and garlic being cooked together smells so good. And I have tons of onion left over that I need to put in a baggie. So I'm just mincing my meat here. Gonna add pepper, lots and lots of pepper. I love pepper. Some garlic salt.
I mean, at least she's cooking. I've got to be honest, if it were me, I would have upended that entire garlic jar. But that was like a kilo of mince, wasn't it? It's a lot. I wonder if this is doing multiple meals, but we know that she's not a leftover girly. It can be hard on your joints. It's a lot. I mean, when you think about the extra weight, if we were to pick up, I suppose it would be like 300 pounds in a backpack to match Amber. I'm really doing that math roughly in my head. Do you think your knees would be super happy about that? Hauling that around everywhere? The pre-made spaghetti sauce is so full of sugar, yes, and also a lot of sodium. They really pack it. I used to buy them as well and then just started making my own because of all of the extra shit that's in there. It's obscene. Doesn't pepper cause heartburn? I don't know. Depends if you suffer from heartburn, I suppose. I don't know. I like pepper. If you were to replace pasta with green beans as she's doing, that would backfire. Yeah, because you feel like it's not filling a need. I really, it took a very long time to get those cravings under control for myself and to be able to practice intuitive eating. Like, I think a lot of people throw around intuitive eating as this amazing thing that you can just do and start listening to your body. But when your body is giving you the wrong signals in the first place, because you've trained it to, it takes time. Cucumber gives you heartburn, but pickles don't? I don't know. You're just special, Robin.
So random fact about my new set of pots and pans. Normally pots and pans, like you have to heat them up a little bit before you put the food in there. These and the instructions say not to do that. All right, so I'm gonna save this onion. I'm gonna cut it so it fits better in the bag. I'm really trying to eat leftovers, and I've been doing good with it because, as you guys know, I'm really weird about it. Okay, so while my
I did not know she was going to repeat that. Yeah, you're special to me, Robin. Green beans in place of pasta is kind of weird, yes, but at least it's not as, I mean, green beans are great in calories compared to pasta. Your rule is 3 days in the fridge. I like meal prep everything, so everything's in the freezer anyway. It doesn't really sit in the fridge for very long at all. You think that canned garlic is bad? No, I like minced garlic. I think it's good. Although maybe it's different between countries. I don't know. I like it. Better than garlic powder. You replace rice with cauliflower rice. Yes, cauliflower is amazing. Have you ever tried a pizza base with it? It's so good. Oh, compared to fresh. Yeah, I agree with that.
food is cooking on the stove. We're gonna try this Olipop cherry vanilla. There's prebiotics, botanicals, plant fiber. It says that they pinpointed cherry pie flavor. So let's see. That's not half bad. Yeah, that's good. Wow, there's 9 fiber. Okay. I give this an 8 out of 10. Plus the can's pink and there's a cherry, excuse me. All right.
9 fiber. Fiber is not a measurement. And whenever I see things like that with that kind of like flavor profile, I just think how many chemicals are in it to be able to replicate that. And yeah, full of sugar, 9 fiber. Yeah. She does it on purpose. It's rage baiting, and it works. It works on me.
So it is finished. Oh my god, I'm so excited. This looks so good and comforting. This would also be good with some like cooked broccoli, maybe on some potatoes, but I'm just gonna have it like this tonight, kind of like a soup a little bit. Damn, that's good. Carbs are not the enemy, but if you ever want to replace pasta with something, French green beans, I promise. This is delicious. I'm adding this to the meal plan. I have tons of leftover for tomorrow.
She has tons of leftover. I don't know. Like, I do think that serving size is a serving size that Amber wants to be content with. I do believe that. I don't believe that that's all she ate, though, based on current evidence. She has really been hammering the mispronunciation. You're so right. It is accelerating. And I think that actually speaks a lot to what she thinks of her channel and what she has to offer, that she has to reduce herself to that sort of nonsense in order to, get the comments and the views. It's like to me, a really cheap way of doing it. Whoops, sorry, malfunction. There we go.
Hello, it is the next day. So, about an hour ago, I took my first thyroid medicine. I'm taking levothyroxine. I'm not good at pronouncing these things.
Yeah, that's just the thyroid medication. There's only that one really, based on depending on the cause. It takes a really long time to take effect, like months. And then you have to go back for regular blood tests to see how your thyroid is functioning in response to the medication. And really, from beginning to end, my journey of getting that medication right was like almost 2 years.
So I'm supposed to take that an hour before I eat. I'm also filming my what I ate today video. I just ordered Chipotle. With my Chipotle, I'm going to be taking my Mellow Oxycam. I suck at pronouncing these, which is for my inflammation and the pain that I've been feeling on my left side. And I'm also going to be taking my first Zoloft. I'm so excited. I know it doesn't start working for like 5 to 6 weeks, but every single day that I take it is just another day closer to me feeling better. I really want to believe that this is going to help me. That's why they make this medicine. That's why they make medicines like this. I have taken Zoloft in the past, but I took it alongside Lamictal, and it seemed to work for me. So we're gonna see how it works with me just taking it by itself. I explained to my doctor that I have formed a fear of Lamictal. I know it doesn't make sense. I have weird anxieties. And then I'm gonna be taking my vitamin D with my last meal of the day, because it's really good to take vitamin D like with a meal that has fat, because vitamin D like attaches to the fat. Yeah, I'm going from a girly pop who has really bad anxiety about medicines and literally took none, to now I'm taking 3 plus a vitamin. And you know what? I'm happy that I'm doing that. I'm proud.
I think this sounds really positive. I'm glad that she is seeking medical advice for this sort of thing finally. It's a long commitment. Yeah, it is, to getting well. It's not like you start and then it doesn't start working for 2 years. There's a gradual increase, but yeah, it takes a while, a really long while. You don't watch her channel, but you've watched log cow vids. They can be awful. But you feel like she would enrage you if you did watch. Yeah, I didn't watch her like raw until I started doing this channel. It was always through reaction channels, because I feel like you need that little bit of a buffer almost. Not in your experience, she's not enraging at first, but then when you start to see the cycle, yeah, the cycle is frustrating. And it's something that I really need to keep in mind when I deliver these videos, because if you've watched my Amber content, I do say that we don't know where she is at in her journey. There could be things that we don't see going on in her mind or in her behavior that lead to a breaking of the cycle, but it is extremely frustrating from the outside looking in when you see that cycle going around and around and around, and it looks like there's no development at all. And I know I've been working on this video for a while, but my tolerance threshold for Amber is low. It's the lowest out of all of the women I cover, and I find if I watch too much of her at any given time, I get very cynical towards her, and I don't want to bring that. But doing that, those first couple of months, this video I've been working on, her time on YouTube, in just that first couple of months, she seems like the same person. I don't see any development at all. You'll never watch her. She's an interesting person, but her content is boring. It is. Yeah, and we do only see what she allows us to. And like, I think Amber really plugged into what made her channel successful and what people responded to, and she was dealing with trolls and haters even right at the very beginning. So she knows this game very well, and what we see may not be reality. I just think it's important to highlight the behavioral errors that she makes, because I think we can learn from them in a nutshell. And I think that Amber, although she is a very extreme character, she does represent realities in life that we deal with, if that makes sense.
For myself that I'm doing that. Yes, I'm anxious, but I'm doing it because I care about myself. I'm doing it because I want to better myself. And I have high hopes that with all of this, I will slowly see my mood improve and my health improve. Hello. So you're seeing me in the same spot, different day. I ended up not doing my what I ate today video yesterday. I was just not in it to win it. I don't know what it was, but that Zoloft made me so tired. My doctor told me it's either going to make me super tired or it's going to give me a lot of energy. It made me tired. I had zero energy. Like, it was so crazy. So I'm actually filming my what I ate today video right now. Yeah, I'm going to pay very close attention today to see if it makes me tired. I'm going to see if it's just a coincidence, because I'm going to be at bingo here in a little bit. So if I start feeling tired at bingo, which I never feel tired at bingo, then I'm going to be like, all right, it's definitely the Zoloft doing that.
I think though, when you're starting new medication, I think you need to be a bit patient with yourself though, because your body's adjusting. I don't know if it's fair to say, oh, it's day one and now I feel tired. It seems a little jumping the gun to me, but she's also interesting because she's so unrelatable. 100% Greta, yes. That's a real dichotomy, isn't it? She represents aspects of real life, but she's also unrelatable. Yeah. She did say she's always high at bingo, but she also just said last week that she's thrown away her vapes. So you tell me which is true.
You guys, it is not it. It's not it. Don't move to Oklahoma, okay? I'm gonna have to go downstairs and check it out because I looked out the window. It's hailing big chunks like this, and the whole street is just flooded. What? Like, there has been so many tornadoes. Where I used to live in Kentucky had a really bad tornado just a few days ago, or like a week ago. I'm pretty sure it was just like a few days ago, and 11 people died. My heart goes out to you guys. And then I also saw, okay, wait, I think the hail is letting up. Yep. It's flooded down there. Oh my God. I also saw that we're supposed to get a lot of hurricanes this year too. It's frightening.
Man, what she gestured as hail, that's like where I came from, a summer storm, like just a regular part of it. You worry when they get to like tennis ball size. Although, having said that, tornadoes are not something I've had to deal with, so I might just shut the clock up.
All right, you guys, update. I have not felt tired at all today, so I think yesterday might have just been like a fluke. But I have been busier today, so that's definitely helped, but I just wanted to give a little update on that. I was told by my doctor to just like pay attention to the side effects or whatever happens from taking Zoloft.
Yeah, but people died. Okay. So tell me this. Where I come from, flooding is fairly regular, like flash floods and things like that. It's a thing. And it always was the people that were driving through it, that went walking through it, that decided, they wanted to film it up close, doing silly things that led to very, very tragic outcomes. And I don't know if that is consistent or if that's just Australians. You tell me.
Zoloft is the med that I'm taking. I don't remember if I said that in this vlog or not. So I'm mainly doing like all the tracking in my journal. I did talk about how like yesterday I felt tired, like overly tired, when I usually don't feel that way. This isn't really something that I'm going to be documenting on YouTube unless I notice like something drastic like this being successful. Like, I'm so excited. I'm just ready for like my mental health just to calm down for a little bit because it has been so strongly painful. I have been depressed. I have been low. I have been feeling things that I do not want to share here on YouTube, but I have just not been feeling good. And I just want to make something very clear. If I stop talking about the fact that I'm taking Zoloft doesn't mean that I'm not taking it anymore. It's just I don't want to give you guys a play-by-play. It's just I've talked about it a lot in this vlog because that's literally what's going on in my life right now, is me beginning a medicine that I'm really anxious about taking. But like, I know I need to take it, so I need to let that anxiety subside because Zoloft is here to help with my anxiety. Hello. So it is the next day. You guys, I am genuinely so sad for Justin Bieber. I have always been a fan of him. Like, he is genuinely talented.
I am so disconnected. I am completely unaware of anything happening to Justin Bieber at all. I wasn't even aware that he was still a thing. You've spoken to friends that are taking these weight loss injections and they've all put you off with the side effects. I think those, can I just say though, they're not actually available in Australia. They have not been authorized as acceptable use. Having said that, I think there's a pretty healthy black market going on, but I think there's a place for them. I really do. And I don't think it should be seen as a shortcut. And I think if you're in such a dire situation where it's just better to get your health under control, then maybe it's worth the side effects. But I kind of understand where you're coming from with that. I would be the same. Nausea is the worst, isn't it? I think, and there's something about, tell me if you experience this too. My brain always wants to tell me that this is forever now. This is how I'm going to feel forever, which again is why you don't always listen to your brain. But it's this all consuming sensation. I do not like it. You're from Kentucky. You've had much worse than tornadoes. Yeah, did you get that hurricane that went through? Did that hit you? I'm not fantastic with American geography. I'll be upfront with that. So the alert systems have been negatively impacted. That's scary. You think it's so wrong, it's so unhealthy for people that they don't need it. Is that in regards to the weight loss medication? So UK has greenlit it. Interesting. I do think that this is kind of going to be, I think we're at the beginning of a huge wave of this kind of thing. And I think, come 20 years, we will be discovering exactly what's wrong with it. Justin has a kid. Is Justin not a kid? Do I sound really old? I'm sorry. I do not follow the happenings of Justin Bieber. I'm busy looking after chickens. So in Canada, you've been having what you call seasonal days. It's rained. It breezed, it rained. That sounds a bit like where I live, Star. Yeah, wow. Gastroparesis, which I suppose is kind of the point, right? It slows down your digestive happenings so you feel fuller for longer. Like, in essence, that's the function, I believe. Well, I suppose Justin Bieber would be an adult now because I think he was a kid in what, the 2000s? I guess. I don't know.
And, I've been seeing clips of him and you can just tell he's really going through it. And it looks like he's struggling with addiction. And I think what really made me be like, yeah, that's exactly what's happening is the clip of SZA bringing him out at her show. And it's just heartbreaking. And there's like so many people watching that and like not realizing that we are watching someone like literally struggle right before our eyes. And it just genuinely breaks my heart. I so badly wish he would get help. Like, that is the type of stuff that I grew up around. So I know exactly what it looks like when I see it. And I guess it's kind of good that some people like literally can't look at someone and just immediately know like, yeah, they're suffering from addiction big time. The things that Justin Bieber went through like at such a young age, it definitely starts to show up more and more as an adult. And my heart just like genuinely goes out to him, truly. I don't know, I just like had to speak on that because it's like, I don't know, it's weighing heavy on my.
I find it curious that Justin Bieber is weighing heavy on her heart. Is there not anything else that she could be focusing on right now? It sounds like okay, get my thoughts together. I like to stay objective and I like to stay level-headed. One area that I will admit to that you will never get that from me is when animals are involved and this whole foodie beauty situation. Anyway, but I do also feel very passionately about parents putting their children into a celebrity situation at a very young age, because I think I just it just seems to be a recipe for problems that very, very few people get out of and very few people reconcile as an adult. It never seems to be a positive thing. He went through a mental breakdown and substances, and Elton John stepped up. Oh, Elton John has done that. He did that for Eminem. I went blank on his name for a moment. Elton John does a lot of work like that. I really respect that. Hey Heather, new subscriber, welcome. Thank you so much. You went through a bunch of my videos, thank you. There are many, many, many more coming. I have so many ideas and just so little time to complete them in. You're not doing anything, not watching anything with Foodie right now. It is upsetting. I actually had the same response. I was actually watching Oh Lordy, It's Geordie's live stream on it, and it's like, on the one hand, I'm interested. On the other hand, it gets me very, very emotional, and I just don't deal with it well. Yeah, it is Star, and actually, Jeanette McCurdy, kind of was a large inspiration for me doing this and also writing my memoir. I didn't have the child star stuff, but so much of it was similar. If the Justin Bieber thing is weighing that heavy on her heart, then maybe she is the empath. True, very true, Katie. I did not consider this. I consider myself schooled.
Heart. But for a big topic change here, it's finally time to do my weekly Amazon haul. So first things first, I got vitamin D. So my doctor wants me to take 2000 IU daily. And then for my medicine, I got this cute little container here. And this is literally perfect for days where I'm gonna not be home. I could just plop this in my purse. So I got a Brita filter because I want to drink more water, but I'm trying to work on like my plastic consumption when it comes to water bottles, and to keep track of.
Sorry, Nuggets, she sneaked in a haul on me. I didn't see that coming, and I don't want to do hauls. You believe Demi ended up in an OD situation? Really? Yeah, it's rough. It's really rough. I just want to skip. This is nonsense. It's just trash. Like, oh, and then we've got the Oracle. Okay, my nuggets. I am going to be a psychic mother Clucker. Here is what I'm predicting that she will get from these cards. I can be healthy. I can meet my goals. I can lose the weight. If I just believe in myself, I can do it. All right? That's on record. Let's go.
But path. Second one is love. Third card is freedom. For me, I feel like this is telling me I need to be free of the burdens, the things in my life that are genuinely causing me unhappiness, because by doing so, I will have a sense of freedom. And again, I feel like this one is very hyper-focused on self-love. And that goes with like the spiritual bath. I am trying to be more spiritual because that's something I do believe in. I do believe believing in the universe is my own spiritual thing. I just feel like there's something heavy, no pun intended, because I'm not talking about my weight, but I just feel like there's something heavy that I need to let go of. So that is the end of this vlog. I hope that you guys did enjoy. By the way, a lot of people say that they love this deck. I got it all.
Who says they love it? Who says it? I need to have words with those people. Look, I was close, kind of. Slight deviation of the interpretation. Get motivated, buy or repair a bunch of stuff, and then quit. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know how many decks she has. It seems like a lot. I have seen she did in one vlog show that she's got this container full of them, and at that time there might have been maybe 7, but this one's new. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know where she decided that this was a good thing. I don't think I've ever seen or heard anybody say that they actually like this segment. So it's probably just rage bait again. But Katie, you totally like that's exactly on point. Amber uses the planning stage as a sense of actually doing something, and then she gets caught just in that stage, cycling through it perpetually, where the I mean, to a point, planning can be a good thing, but it's really the actions that follow it up that are the most important part. Amazon is the culprit. Real readers do stick to one deck, yes. It's popular in my family. They all have one deck, just one each. Okay, okay. So, what is this one? Oh, weigh in. Cool. Yes. All right. Let's do the weigh in.
Hello, hello. Welcome to another weekly weigh-in. So let's get into the 5 questions. What kind of coping skills are you using during times where you want to overeat? So there's a few that I use, and sometimes they work and sometimes they don't. It's all about practice. So sometimes I set an alarm for about 10 minutes and I kind of just like sit with the feeling, and sometimes it passes. I journal about how I'm feeling to figure out like, why do I want to overeat? Because usually there's like an underlining reason. It's not just like, oh, I love to eat. For me, there's definitely something underlining. And sometimes journaling about that distracts me and it helps me be like, wow, I actually don't think I need food.
So I think there can be power in journaling. I think if that's the sort of thing that helps you, that's great. But I think Amber uses it as another tool to make herself feel like she's done something. Hyperfixation plus means overconsumption is a bit of a recipe for hoarding. Yes. That's an interesting take. My mother is a hoarder. I, as a result, am an anti-hoarder. But I think without that experience, I probably would have done the same thing. Yeah, that's a good take.
I distract myself with things that make me happy, like my fur babies. I watch something on YouTube. I watch a TV show. I do my Legos, things like that. Sometimes I will literally remove myself from wherever I'm at. I also do this when I get extremely anxious, and sometimes that also helps then too. So for an example, say I'm just sitting in my living room and all of a sudden I just have this overwhelming urge to order DoorDash. Sometimes I'll literally just like stand up and remove myself. I'll like go in the kitchen, clean a couple dishes, or I'll just be like, hey Twinkie, do you want to go outside? Or I'll go into my room. Like I'll literally just remove myself.
She's saying the right words. This is correct. But the way she's describing it makes me think that she's not being honest. I think, again, though, it's probably that she wants to be doing this and she knows that she should be doing this. But something I think that bothers me about Amber is she totally has the main character syndrome, right? And then paired with Peter Pan syndrome. But she speaks about this stuff as though we don't all do this, as though brains don't do this. This is just part of being an adult. You don't give into these things. Like when you're a child, you might because you can. But as an adult, you go, oh, okay, so that's not going to be good for me. I'm not going to do that. You learn to work with yourself in that way. Keep up the good work. Oh, thank you so much, Robin. No, definitely get some sleep. Thank you so much for joining us. I really appreciate it. Kind of obsessed with her Italian pronunciation of Lego. What does she say? Is it Lego? I think a lot of people pronounce it that way. In Australia, we just say Lego. Personally, you tried journaling, but as a dyslexic, it caused you stress. Relatable star. Same. I was never diagnosed as a kid, and I worked it out when I was 32 that I had been dyslexic all these years, and I never understood why people liked to read for like enjoyment or to unwind, because I can read just fine. Clearly, I'm reading your comments, although probably sometimes get it wrong, but it's not relaxing for me, and It wasn't until I put that together, I'm like, oh, so now I've got audiobooks. It's great. It's great.
These things are definitely easier said than done. You just have to be kind to yourself and patient. And it's like that muscle. The more you do it, the better you get at it. Why do you watch healthy eating content? So it's not something that I like search out, but if it pops up and I happen to see it and I don't skip through it, it's usually because it's motivating me to be healthier. Like, I love a good meal idea. I need inspiration in that area. Does Mama Lynn ever discourage you from making bad food choices? No, because I think she also understands. She does sometimes try to encourage me to like cook more instead of ordering takeout as much. Why didn't you?
No, Mama Lynn is stuck between a rock and a hard place. I don't think that she could ever really reliably address this without Amber throwing guilt back in her face. That's the feeling I get. I didn't miss much. You were diagnosed in grade 1. Oh, wow. I actually wondered what would happen if it had been caught earlier. And I don't know why it wasn't caught earlier, because I used to excel in math, but then English, I would fail. So, like, and then do really, really well with math problems until they were the word math problems. Does that not highlight it? But it's just something my mother was completely oblivious to. They didn't have as much help back then. Yeah, that's probably true. I don't know. You kind of work out how to get along, don't you?
Know you had hyperthyroidism in the past. So usually your doctor decides what labs they want done based on the things that you guys talk about. That appointment was very hyper-focused on weight loss because I was talking to him about Zepbound, and I was telling him about how difficult it was for me to lose weight. Like, he knows about my lipedema, my lymphedema, my menopause, hysterectomy, etc., etc. He knows about all that, but he was like, when's the last time you've had your thyroid checked? And I was like, when I was 15, because that is the last time. And when I had it checked when I was 15, like, it was fine. And he was like, oh, we should probably check that. So that's the only reason why we checked it. And turns out, yep, hypothyroidism. Why do you look at yourself when you're eating on camera? So I think it's just a natural habit that us YouTubers have. I don't like watching myself eat. It's nothing weird like that. It's kind of just like, where should our eyes go? So let's talk about the goals that I had last.
Yep, I'm talking to you guys and I'm just staring at my avatar in the corner there, looking at nothing else. Spoiler, the only testing for thyroid at age 15. Has it been thoroughly disproven? And she's talked about having pretty regular tests over the years. Yeah, okay, that's interesting. I will uncover all of this on my journey through the Amber chapters. Menopause. Yeah. At 30, yes. So she had, depending on what you believe, cancer / pre-cancer / cancer-like cells, and had to have a hysterectomy, which basically puts you into a medical menopause. And it can happen at any age because the bits that create the hormones are not there anymore. I haven't seen Apathetic Fax's video. No. I would believe that was a lie. Like, people are proving her to have lied about things all over the place, which is what makes it so unbelievable to anything she says. We have to question everything because there's been so many silly lies like that. Yeah, so we believe that regarding the hysterectomy, we believe it did happen because Beck seems to back that up. So, I mean, I don't know though.
Last week, it was to keep a food journal and to take my medication. And I did both of those things. I noticed that keeping a food journal, I do eat a little bit more than like my body feels, because I'm telling you, at night, I'm like, oh my God, why am I so hungry? Blah, blah, blah. I was able to look at my journal and be like, well, you kind of ate a decent amount, so why are you hungry, Amberlyn? But if it wasn't for me having the journal, I wouldn't have had that answer. In my brain, I would have been like, maybe I didn't eat much today. Let's have something else. So it was nice to have that awareness throughout the week. And then
So this is the cycle, right? She is in that place where she's acknowledging and having all of these aha moments about her behavior and how she sees things and her relationship with food and what she really needs to do. And that is really just, I believe, her being in a good headspace. So something good must have happened to bolster her mood. And usually when that happens, it's because there's a girl. But because Amber goes with everything that she's feeling, this will cycle back around into, no, I'm not going to do that. That doesn't work, when she starts to feel bad again. And then, the cycle perpetuates. I desperately hope every single time that this will be the one that sticks. I did say that about the last one too, though. Should she be getting a memory checked? Yes, I think her memory is just fine. Yeah, exactly, Star. She's feeling positive right now, and so she's acting positive, and she's doing things that a positive person does. As soon as that shifts, her actions will shift with it, rather than going, oh, okay, no, these are the things that I know are correct because I've established them. I'm just not feeling great right now, but I'm still going to perpetuate them because I know that that's the correct thing to do. She will just fully deflate and undo all of this work. But one can hope.
And taking my meds on time and when I'm supposed to, it's been really easy because I got a pill organizer. So my goals for this week is 1, keep up with the medicine, and 2, start using my Owala water bottle. So I finally drank the rest of my actual plastic water bottles that you buy at the store. And I bought a reusable water bottle that I can use. And so I've been drinking 2 water bottles a day, sometimes 3, but usually 2. And that's about 30 ounces of water. But my Owala is 40 ounces. So my goal is literally just to drink 1 of those a day and then eventually move on to 2. Now
I need math. What is 40 ounces? Hey, Fia, thank you so much for putting your pronunciation. I appreciate that. New or old girl? Yes. Fits with her taking a break. Yes. And it could be an old girl. I don't know. I don't think it really matters for the cycle, though. Whoever it is. Sorry, I'm needing to do the math. Because what she said, she was drinking 2 30-ounce. My internet's slow. I think that's my own fault. Australian internet can only do one thing at a time. So 30-ounce. 2 mils, please. Okay, so it's like 0.8 of a litre. So she was, yeah, it's still not really enough, is it? Because the bigger you get, the more you really need to consume, and then your environment changes things too. Greta, I'm a teetotaler. I don't know how big a vodka bottle is. I'm sorry. I'm really boring. I have 2 vices, chickens and gaming.
Talk about how my week went. So some days were better than others because the beginning of this week, I was having a lot of mental health. I have been having a lot of mental health days that have been really low. And I have been catching myself not really caring about the food that I'm putting in my mouth. Yes, I am trying harder. Yes, I'm also adding healthier foods to my diet, but there are some days where I definitely emotionally ate. So if I am being quite frank with you guys, I'm noticing that I'm not being as transparent or as vulnerable or as open as I would like to be in my weigh-in videos or my what I ate today.
Okay, so this is a cycle too, and just in my time of doing videos on her, I think I've seen 4 iterations of this, and I am 7 months old, 7.5 months old. So she goes through these cycles of feeling like she needs to be more honest and more vulnerable with her audience, but then her audience is made up of so many hate watchers that she gets backlash for that, and then people don't believe her even if she is being honest because, well, how could we? She's given us so little to go on. So then she withdraws and puts the character back in front of everyone, and then she gets backlash for that. and perhaps feels like she's not being authentic. So then she goes back onto this being vulnerable cycle. And if none of them work ever, something new needs to be done. Why isn't it working? Why isn't it healthy? And what else can you try? Because this being vulnerable with the audience that she's fostered, even her members she mistreats, she can't be vulnerable with them. And can I just say, by the way, anyone who's listening to this who caught my little vulnerable moment in my last Eugenia video, I've been met with nothing but love and support, and I am so grateful for that, because it was a bit of a, oh, I've really got to push myself to do this moment. But this is the community, the amazing community that has been fostered around this channel. Hers is not like that, which is her own doing. So limited sympathy in that respect, but this is not the answer. Being vulnerable for her, not the answer.
Videos. There are things that I want to say, there are things that I want to talk about, but I'm not. I have the biggest wall up, like literally it is made of the toughest brick you've ever been able to like get your hands on. It is made of metal. It is 1,000,000 feet high and 1,000,000 feet wide. Like, you can't get past it. And I genuinely think it's because of all the backlash that I receive. My issues with my weight, my struggles with food, my issues with my mental health, and my struggles with how that reflects in my food, whether it be due to trauma or just issues that I have in general, it is not perceived in the way that it should be. People are too harsh, too mean, too cruel, and it's pushing me away without a doubt.
Okay, but without a doubt, she has taught people to treat her this way in her life, the online life, I mean. And I agree. I think she gets a lot of, like, probably too much pushback. I don't think it's healthy. I actually experience offhand some of the hate that these girls get, because I don't know why, but occasionally people think that I'm Eugenia or I'm Amber in my videos, but I kind of get a very oblique view about, you know, the kind of comments that they get. And if they were at me personally, I think that would be quite difficult to deal with. But she has created this, and in essence, yet another issue is she needs to get offline to deal with this. The YouTube space is no longer a healthy place for her mentally, but she won't go get another job in order to support herself. So she, although it's not true, logically, she has mentally trapped herself in this space. So it's this kind of catch-22 cycle that she's got herself in. And it's just, what really needs to be done is pull completely out of YouTube, get some sort of call center job that she can do from home, get into some sort of program that will help her to lose weight, and do it completely anonymously, where nobody's looking at her, where she doesn't feel accountable to anybody, and just like get her stuff sorted out.
So I am thinking about stopping the weigh-in videos, and I'm thinking about stopping the what I ate today videos. It's something that I truly have to think about and decide, because I need to protect the little bit of sanity that I do have. I'm just not met with kindness in an area of my life that is not impacting anyone besides myself. I can't imagine ever being mean to someone or cruel to someone or saying harsh things to someone that is just simply struggling and documenting that online. Regardless, let's get into the actual weigh-in.
Yeah, Greta, you're exactly right. Some people do manage to do it, and I think it's because some people do legitimately respond well to, you know, being criticized or being egged on, or, you know, whatever. But it's not the majority of people that work that way, and I don't think that I really would doubt that Amber could be successful while maintaining it online. I couldn't. I definitely couldn't. To put any sort of weight loss journey online, just no. People don't get to be involved in that part of my life, because I wouldn't handle it, and I know that about myself. And I think Amber is the same. It's an incredibly personal and intimate thing to go through, and to invite strangers and strangers that don't like you into it. Yeah. She's literally said she's afraid her YouTube wouldn't be as successful if she lost weight. Yes. Yes, I know. And I don't think it's just the weight loss either. I think it's the hot mess factor. I think she thinks she's got nothing else to offer us other than the super morbidly obese, neurological issued person. And that's selling herself short. I think if she spent some time in developing her interests and herself, her personality, she would have a lot more to offer. Being a pathological liar makes it hard for people to find their sympathy bone. Exactly. It really does. And it's because anytime she seems to be being real, we second guess if she is. And that's horrible. This is a fellow human being that we're looking at. And yet she's taught us to observe and go, yeah, but is that real? That's not a good thing.
So last week I was 516.0, and this week I'm 513.8, so I'm down 2.2 pounds. I'm not mad about it because I did have a little bit of a fluctuation last week. This might be a fluctuation this week. Who knows? Anyways, I'm gonna go. Hope that you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.
So a little bit of success there, but probably not anything of significance. Like when you're talking about body weight percentages, it's pretty small and could potentially be down to a slightly larger meal even. Exactly, Katie, the boy who cried wolf. Totally. And that's so applicable here. It's hard to trust someone if they lie constantly. Yeah. Yeah, I've talked a little bit about it. My mother was exactly the same way. And I think what my mother and Amber share is probably narcissistic tendencies, and that's where the line comes from. And oh my gosh, Giselle. Oh, thank you so much. Giselle, you are my first member, like ever. Oh my gosh. Oh, that's so sweet. Thank you so much. I don't know what to say now. And I've completely forgotten what I was talking about. And now I've got the giggles. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much. That's really generous. What was I talking about? Fully forgot. Yes, really. And see, you are a tiny egg. I've been designing the little icons, and you basically go from an egg to a very majestic rooster. I haven't done them all yet, but I think like the first 6 months are done. Oh yes, narcissism. Fun. Okay, that's what I was talking about. And I do actually think that they believe some of their lies. But when I kind of realized that my mother was lying about everything, I mean everything, it became basically the way I had to approach it was if I didn't witness it with my own eyes, I can't rely on it having happened. And even if I did witness it, the way things were contextually framed, it's still questionable, if that makes sense. And that's really what Amber's done to her viewers. We don't know what are lies, so how do we sift through them? We have to assume that nothing is true unless we've witnessed it. We're not in the room with her, so we can't witness it. Not much of a chatter, but you like to watch. Oh, thank you so much, Giselle. I'm more than happy. I like the lurkers as well as the chatters, so thank you so much. The narcissist in your life currently makes you question your own reality. Yes, I am so sorry you have an active one at the moment. And that is, the questioning of your own reality is a perfect like phrasing for that situation. Is there a way to remove that narcissist? I can appreciate it's not always quite that simple. Hopefully you've gotten yourself in a position where they can't hurt you though. Okay, so last but not least, now we'll see how this goes. I've kind of got nowhere to be for another 45 minutes. But then I have to care for a chicken. So let's do the let's talk episode and we'll just see, because she says, I can't believe I'm sharing this, the truth, and a traumatizing memory as a child. So yeah, let's see how that goes.
Hello, hello. Welcome to another Let's Talk video. Let's get right into sweet and sour. Boris W8B said, we love you. And I love you guys too. Planet Tivoli said, you are the worst person in the world. I think that's a bit drastic. Positivity Always Wins said, the food journal is so smart. I'm rooting for your health journey, Amberlynn. Thank you. I definitely appreciate that. And yes, positivity always wins. Delani2025 said, positive thoughts can help you stay on track. Keep the momentum going with the positivity. I thought that was so crazy that these two comments were back to back. It was like the universe was telling me, Amberlynn, you have supporters out there, you have positivity, keep up the affirmations. Thank you so much, Delani. Cracked iPod Screen 2007 said, she's stoned. She's not. All right, you guys, now it is time for Sippin' Community.
Wasn't that some riveting content, my nuggets? Wasn't that just, is that like game changing for you today? Are you so glad you saw that? You're convinced positive always wins is Amber's stock account. Yeah. I don't know how many of these would be. I think there's a few. Are they really, Greta? They're all over reaction channels. Oh, I'll have to keep a lookout. Okay, tell me honestly, what do you think the odds are that Amber is currently watching or has watched my channel? Because here's the thing, as far as Eugenia goes, I am confident she doesn't know I exist. I'm a very small channel. I don't think anyone's brought me up to her, and I don't think she actively looks for these things. But Amber? I think Amber knows I exist. I'm pretty convinced. Yeah. Oh, and one other thing. I want a dodgy nickname. You know, like, oh lordy, it's Bordy, or Mr. Cardigan, or whatever. Oh, what was it? Salty crap. Yes, I've handed it to them on a platter. I have a chicken theme. They can come up with something for me. To be honest, positive is good, but being positive can send you on a down path if you let yourself down. Yeah, that's true. You think she knows of me? Yes, I think so. For sure has seen my channel. Occasionally, the girls will say something in one of their videos that kind of makes me go, oh, was that me? But it could have been another like reaction channel that said it. But Candy's done it a couple of times as well, where I've gone, oh, do you know, have you been watching? You think a lot of those names are coined by Foodie, so I'll need to go annoy her. Okay, noted. All right.
Why did you quit therapy again? I didn't. So why aren't you worried about worms and the ice you love from Chick-fil-A? You know it's made with sink water. My anxiety does not pick and choose where it wants to anxiety. When will we hear the scale speak again? So no matter which way I weigh myself, like people don't believe it. So I figured, why put in the effort to film that if no one believes it? You recognize Bieber's addiction, but not yours. I definitely do. Girl, what about that filter for the 5 gallon of water? You don't do anything right. So I think you're referring to the fact that I bought a Brita filter and I now have a Awala water bottle. So I have a hernia, and people with hernias should not lift up to 15 pounds, even though I do it. But the 5 gallon water is 41 pounds. I do not want to hurt myself. Like, I genuinely would hurt myself trying to lift that. So I figured, why not just use sink water and have a Brita filter? Why?
Have you heard of this hernia before? I am trying to think back. I keep little memory banks for each of the girls. I don't remember a hernia being mentioned. I could be wrong, but usually when Amber has these things, she mentions them like every week. Maybe she doesn't click with her therapist? Maybe. There was a tiny channel who spoke on this exact thing with the sink water. Yeah, and she knew, right? And there was another one that she caught doing a live and went into, and that channel was smaller than me. You recall the hernia? Yeah, but maybe not confirmed. Interesting, interesting. Okay, well, it is making a reappearance.
Why didn't you show your Chipotle in your what I ate today video? So if you go back and watch my vlog, you hear me say I just ordered Chipotle. I'm actually about to film a what I ate today video. And then the next day, I literally said, oh, I did not film the what I ate today video. I decided to film it today. All right, you guys, now it is time for the interview.
Hi, Amber Lynn. I'm wondering if you would ever go to church with Mama Lynn again. It seems like she has really benefited from that community, and do you think you could also benefit from it? I also just want to say that you're my favorite YouTuber, and I really love your videos.
Oh, thank you. That means a lot. And if my mom was going to church and she invited me, of course I would go. But no, I don't think I would benefit from it in the way that you'd probably think. I like going to like support my mom. And yeah, it is very empowering to go to the church that actually my mom goes to sometimes. It's actually like the biggest, kind of most fascinating church I've ever seen in my life.
But the problem is, church tends to be quite early in the morning. That's what I'm thinking.
But I am agnostic and I'm more than likely going to stay that way.
Okay, small rant though. Agnostic, yes, but also asked us to pray when Rarity went missing.
Hi, Amber
Pick a lane.
Lynn. I've been a fan of you forever. I've been watching you for years now. And I remember when you had an era where you used to play Fortnite and game a lot. And I was just curious if you would ever start a stream on Twitch or even during your members' lives when you would be Fortnite Lynn or Gamer Lynn. Just curious. I would totally watch. Love you. Bye.
Oh, I've actually thought about it. So I would never go to Twitch. Never really been a Twitch girly. I think I've been to twitch.com maybe once in my life. So if I ever was to do something like that, it would definitely be in my members live. And you guys, speaking of video games, I'm so excited for Grand Theft Auto 6. You have no idea.
Hello, Amber. I'm a long-time viewer.
Do I have any gaming nuggets in the chat at the moment? And does Amber, if you are there, does Amber strike you as a Grand Theft Auto girly? You're here. Hello. Like, when we imagine Amber playing games, Amber strikes me, well, okay, Greta, she is define gamer. To me, a gamer is somebody that games are a large part of their life and have been probably for a while. She occasionally picks up Fortnite, but when I think of Amber as a gamer, I think of like Stardew Valley, or what's that little ones with anthropomorphized animals running around? Animal Crossing. Yes, that's the kind of thing that I would imagine Amber playing. And no disrespect to those games, it's just that Grand Theft Auto is a very different type of game to that. You used to be? Yeah. What kind of, okay, I'm interested to know, what kind of games do my gamer nuggets play?
And I'm so happy I got the chance to ask you anything. I'm sorry for any mess ups. I'm nervous.
Aww.
So my question is, if you or somebody else was about to write a book about your life, what would be the first and the last line? So that's it. I love you lots. Bye.
Aww, bye. Wow. I actually don't know the first line, but I'm telling you, I tried to start a whole like book about my life. This was a long time ago. And I started writing it. I did one chapter and I was just bawling. Like the pain, it was just too much for me. So I actually...
Yeah, I'm currently writing a memoir because there's a lot of stuff that I can't share on YouTube that I want to get out there. And it is really confronting facing some memories. But I don't know that Amber has the kind of commitment to be able to finish something like that. Names for my game segments. Foul play. Oh my gosh, exhausted. Katie, I love these. Feathered fumbles. Cluckastrophe. Oh my god. I love that. The chicken pun thing really starts to get into your like general vernacular really quickly. You play RPGs, MMOs, cozy single player games. Yeah, nice. Oh, you occasionally like horror. Horror scares me. I'm too jumpy for horror. You play Stardew Valley and House Flipper. I have not heard of House Flipper. You used to play Grand Theft Auto like 10 years ago. And Call of Duty occasionally. Nice. You love VR. I need VR to get a little more advanced. It makes me a bit motion sick. Not crazy horror. Okay, all right. You like Phasmophobia? I have not played that yet. Oh, also, hello, a literal moon. Yeah, my regular return is Skyrim, fairly heavily modded. But at the moment, I'm really enjoying a game called Shadows of Doubt, which is one of the most replayable detective games I've ever come across. And you have to catch a serial killer that's in a city through clues and things like that. It's very good. Horror games look awesome. You can't get into games though. Yeah, fair enough. You were just watching one of my videos and noticed I was live. Yes, I am. I'm so glad you're here. Do you count as a gamer because you play The Sims? Yes, you do. Yes, I have spent many a time playing The Sims. It counts. What doesn't count about that, by the way? Shadows of Doubt is on Steam. Yeah. It's an indie game. And it's just exceptional. It's because normally detective games you kind of do one playthrough and that's pretty much it. You've got it. Shadows of Doubt is a procedurally generated city every time, and it's just, I don't know, it's replayable. I like that about it. Anyway, back to Amber. I got distracted. I apologize.
Started it with one of my earliest memories ever, which was super traumatic for me. And this isn't talking bad about my mom. It's my story too. I just know a lot of people think that like I'm talking badly about my mom when I'm just like sharing my story like from when I was a child, and that's definitely not the case at all. But it was about a time when I was literally like 4 years old, and I remember this like crisp as ever. I went to like this random back alley in some random car, and I was in the back seat in the middle. My mom came in on this side, and some random guy, never heard of him before, never seen him before. He came in through the other side on this side, and my mom was like, close your eyes. And then like she covered my eyes, but like I did not close my eyes, and I could still see like down here. And it was my first ever like drug deal. I was like 4 years old. I saw it right in front of me. It was weird. It was sketch. It was scary. But that was like my first ever introduction to like the drug world.
What do you think about her speaking about this? Because she has a good relationship with her mother at the moment. And she is in contact with her mother. And I don't know if you have noticed, but I only speak about my mother and her sometimes girlfriend. But there's a reason for that, because I don't want to speak about people that are actively in my life who I have good relationships with. I don't want to expose their privacy and all that. And I don't know if you've ever thought or wondered why I don't show my face, and mostly it's because my mother has a tendency for online stalking and she's found other accounts. And so I think that if she knew that I were speaking about her, the narcissism in her makes her feel that she has done nothing wrong and she really believes her stories. But if she knew that I was speaking about this, it would be shots fired and cause, contact to happen in my real life, which by all, I just really, really don't want that to happen, because she gets a little weird. But Amber's mother is in her life. Is that okay? Where's the line on that? It feels a little ick for me. Could she really understand that's what was happening at only 4? Maybe not at 4, but I think sometimes when you've had trauma in your history, you look back as an adult and go, oh, okay. No, Vera is not my real name. Yes, she would recognize my voice. Fortunately, she is not very tech savvy. I don't think she would be able to find this. Vera Cavendish is actually the name that I'll be writing my memoir under. So it basically means freedom from the cave. And that's why I chose it. Because I found my freedom from the cave that she had constructed around me. So yeah, sometimes, because like a good example, when I was in year 4, I think, so I must have been maybe 9, a boy came into the class like mid-year through, and he was rattling off all through class some like really inappropriately adult charged content, like just constant. And at the time, I remember sitting back and thinking, wow, this boy is really weird and I really want to get away from him. Looking back at it as an adult, I go, oh, that child was harmed. That child was harmed in a really significant way. And it's an abnormal behavior that has come probably from years of actions against him and conditioning to that kind of thing. To be fair, voices sound a lot like phone voices, so yeah, it's understandable. Yeah. I'm kind of a new writer. It's a new passion. It's something that I was always too scared to try. So in my journey of challenging fears, I decided to try it and I really enjoy it. So I keep doing it. So yeah, but the memoir is slow going because it's quite, as you can imagine, quite confronting and draining at times to write it. And that's why I started this channel, because I'm like watching other reaction channels and I'm like, no, you're missing the really big key thing. And I thought, oh, I can kind of get it out of my system without constantly focusing on my memoir all the time, you know? Yeah, so that's a little bit of my backstory.
World.
Hey girl. So my friend Karen and I and my sister Ilsa have been watching you for years, like actual years. So hopefully I get picked.
You did.
I know in this last video that you posted, you said that you were thinking of not posting what I ate today and weighing videos anymore. On, I believe it was episode 10. But is there like a specific video that you love to record? I don't know. I just feel like you really enjoyed making those videos. And I honestly think you shouldn't really care about what the haters say, you know?
Right.
And you should just post them, girl. Bye, love you.
Oh, love you. I actually do love filming any sort of video, a weigh-in, a what I ate today, a vlog, let's talk, Q&A, like, it doesn't matter what type of video it is. I genuinely love it. And it's easier said than done, like, trying to ignore the haters. It's just like certain topics are just like, they shouldn't be touched. They shouldn't be messed with. I feel like people are just way too judgmental. And it's like, I get it. Everyone has an opinion, but it's like, it doesn't make your opinion right. It doesn't make your opinion okay, especially when they're like harsh and downright degrading. And it's just hard for me. Like, I'm taking medicine for my mental health. Like, my mental health has been so bad, genuinely. And I can't just take medicine and expect that to be like the only thing that I have to change. I have to continue the therapy. I have to block out the war. I use war as like a metaphor for just like the chaos, the toxicity, the bad things in my life.
She just compared war to dealing with haters on YouTube. Oh dear. I agree with you, Greta. I don't believe that she likes doing YouTube either. I don't think she likes anything about it. Editing is very monotonous and methodical, which, if you like that sort of thing, which I happen to, that's great. I don't think she likes doing it. I think we can see that because she's never actually gotten better at anything. There's no pride in the craft. And I think she just has to tell herself that, or has to verbalize that to people, because she doesn't want to go get a normie job, basically.
And I need to just like keep things that serve my mental health to be better. Is that even the right grammar? Do you understand what I'm saying? Out with the bad, in with the good is what I'm trying to say.
Hey Amber, I have 2 questions for you.
Okay.
So do you think that your mom's addiction may be a genetic disposition to your eating? Like possibly if addiction runs in the family, and that could be why you have a food addiction as well, like your mom had a drug addiction. And I know, some of it is trauma-based, so it might be separate. And my second question is,
before we get to the second question, just to answer the first one, yes, I have an addictive personality, and I know that 2 out of my 3 brothers do as well. We all have an addiction, and mine happens to be food.
Do you feel that?
That's, I think, the first time that I've actually heard her admit that. And yeah, Greta, she she is probably just trying to balance out. And she is ungrateful for the privilege she has. She's extremely privileged and doesn't know how lucky she is. And yeah, Star. Yeah, editing is it. I like it. I really do. But you kind of chuck on some background music, and it's nice. So I think it's good to hear that she is acknowledging it as that, because I feel like in the past she's kind of separated herself from her mother's past, and seeing it as the same thing, I think, is the right way to go.
The financial reasons for not going inpatient isn't worth saving your life, or possibly saving your life, when you've utilized all your resources, basically.
So I definitely think it's worth it. I just genuinely don't have the money. It's like almost $250,000, and I don't have that.
Hey, Queen! How's Twinkie doing?
She's really good. Thank you for asking.
She is not really good, and I get very short-tempered about this. That dog is not being looked after correctly. And it's not okay. It's annoying because she says that Twinkie is not your normal type of Chihuahua, which she's referencing as the teacup Chihuahua. She has just the normal breed Chihuahua, but Twinkie is still significantly overweight, and for an elderly dog, that really upsets me. She absolutely did not. Right, it was BED, or she wouldn't be approved. Okay, interesting. Very interesting.
All right, you guys, now it is time for tea or tail. Amberlynn never checked up on her lungs years ago. That is not true. October 30th, 2022, CT scan results. Here we go.
Okay, you guys, so good news. I was thanking my doctor for just listening to me through everything. Good news, the nodule isn't there. They think that I really did just have like pneumonia, because I did take 2 different types of antibiotics at the exact same time.
I'm sorry, I was just watching this and then realized she's holding up a laptop, playing a video. This video has been edited. Why is that video not edited into this video? What is this? This is actually a really good example of what we were just talking about. Where is the pride in the craftsmanship? This is insanely lazy. Luna is a Chihuahua mix. And yeah, they gain weight really easy. I had a Chihuahua Papillon cross, and yeah, same thing. She really needed to be watched. but it heavily affects their joints because, yeah, we're only talking about maybe a couple of kilos, but body wise, that's like 50% of their body again on top of it. Yep, you had to download the video and put it in. I assume she's probably editing on her phone and maybe this one was on the computer. I don't know. This is ridiculous. You took in your grandma's 12-year-old Chihuahua. And she's 2 times the size she should have been. You got her down to 7 pounds and she's got a new lease on life. Yeah. The amount of extra weight on a Chihuahua is just so different. Yeah.
And so there it is. I definitely got it checked. Had multiple CT scans, and that was the last one I got because they told me it's not there anymore. But now it's back. Yikes. And when they did my lung CT scan and my heart CT scan, they did see it, like, because it's in the results, but they didn't mention it to me. So I just don't think it's something that they're worried about. I don't know. Amberlynn?
A 20-year-old Chihuahua. Oh my gosh. Wow, my old girl got to 16. She was struggling a bit in the end, but she had a good long life. Yeah, I agree. Most likely it probably helped. But, you know, out of 3 pets, she's lost one. One is severely overweight. That's 2 out of 3 that are being mistreated in some way, shape, or form. And I just do not have the tolerance levels for that. I need my cranky Vera on the screen when I talk about that.
His mom lies for her. So I don't know why anyone would think that. And my mom sometimes will watch my videos and like scroll down to the comments, and she also saw other people saying that. I told my mom to stay out of the comments because they can be kind of harsh, because I don't want my mom to feel hurt. I don't want her to read bad things about herself. Like, it genuinely breaks my heart. But we actually have had a conversation about this. And the very thing that my mom told me, like literally quoting her, "Why would I lie for you? I'm in recovery." And to me, it's such like a simple sentence, but it's like, it's deeper than that. My mom's recovery isn't just about drugs. It's not just about alcohol. It's about everything. It has like transformed her whole life. She makes sure to be a good person, and a good person wouldn't lie on YouTube for their daughter, especially over stupid shit. Insult me all you want, but like, don't insult my mom, please. Amberlynn is a hoarder. So the definition of a hoarder is someone who literally has like actual trouble and difficulty getting rid of possessions, no matter what type of value it holds. And it makes it to where they have so many possessions that the clutter literally makes day-to-day life difficult. Not me. Not even remotely close.
That sounds like something a hoarder would justify their stuff with, doesn't it? She's just described, you know, like every mental health issue has a gradient of severity. And, you know, when we're looking at Amber and Eugenia, they are examples of very extreme versions of that condition. But what she's just described is one of the most extreme versions of hoarding. There is a gradient, and she's absolutely on it. Just because you're able to walk around your apartment without, you know, stumbling over mountains of trash does not mean that it's not a thing. Not sure that's the actual definition. No, it could be describing a type of hoarder. You had a Chihuahua named Paris. Everybody has Chihuahuas. This is so cute. Named Paris. Oh, passed away at 15 in 2019. Oh, she was your first baby. Giselle, mine actually was in 2019 as well, and she was my first as well. I really feel for you. It took a bit to get over that one. Yeah, you can be sorry for the loss, but at the same time, there was so much joy, and after a time, you know, you don't remember the pain that happened after it. You remember all of the cute things that happened in the life, and especially when it is such a big life You know, like my girl would come up on the bed and lick me on the nose to wake me up in the morning. You know, that's the kind of thing you remember, and it becomes not so much about the loss. I am presently grieving a rooster that I lost last year, though, and he's hit me hard as well. He was a special boy. But again, you know, you start to remember the really good things. But he had, unfortunately, a very short life. Just was too exceptional for this world and was a concentrated version. You're just thankful you managed to get the videos in older age. Yeah, you didn't have phones. I know, mine was the same. It's like camera phones when we first got her were like 4 pixels. And so you didn't really use them back then for that sort of thing. And we did have a digital camera, but like, I don't know, it's just not the same as it is now. Your 7-year-old cheap, Holly? Oh, I'm so sorry. Yeah, I think it's harder when the life wasn't as long as it could have been. It makes it a bit harder to reconcile it. Oh, so many good girls and boys.
First of all, hate clutter. I do love a pillow on my couch. Don't come for me for that. But you guys, I'm getting rid of stuff constantly. Like as I sit here, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 boxes of stuff that my mom is gonna actually come get. Anything that I get rid of, my mom loves to keep, and it's just like so cute. She's like, it's my daughter's stuff. But like I literally get rid of my stuff. I don't know. It's just so many people love to throw around the word hoarder when that's literally not even remotely close to who I am. All right, you guys, it is time for bad choices.
Oh, I hate this segment. It was so bad. Ginger was 19. Oh, wow. And 15. Yeah, a year apart is hard. I lost 2 chickens. I know that if you're not a chicken person, you don't understand the comparison that I'm making, but it is just the same as a dog to me. I lost 2 very, very good chickens only a month apart, and that was rough. That was last year. It was really rough at the end. It may sound cheesy, but like, oh no, you believe she told you in a dream it was her time to go. I don't think that's cheesy at all. I think that's good. I believe that.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Have you ever fooled around with someone on your parents' bed? Not on my parents' bed, no. Would you rather have sex with one of your parents' best friends than smell like a bag of urine for a month? What is this question? I would rather smell like a bag of urine for a month and just not leave my house. How about that? Have you ever told someone you love them just to have sex with them? No, but I've had that happen to me. Have you ever tried to finger your own butt?
What is this? What is this? I cannot. Why does she do this? I don't even know if this is acceptable to be on YouTube. Like, I feel like I would get age restricted for this, but she's putting videos up. Like, I need to proof watch these. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Shall we skip this? Oh, it's right at the end anyway. Okay, well, let's just leave her there on that lovely note. Oh, goodness. I don't know. I don't know what to do with that. At least we know she can't reach. Yeah, that's the answer. No. Goodness. I don't know. It's frustrating to me that like some of my videos get age restricted for very spurious things, but the actual creators themselves seemingly get away with it. Although I suppose we wouldn't know if this video is age restricted unless we like logged out and tried to watch it. But yes, that's very, very frustrating. Okay, well, I only had 10 minutes before I needed to go tend to my chicken. But yeah, you have friends that have chickens, Kate, you understand. They really are every bit as good as dogs, especially the roosters in particular. Hens, chickens in general are a really unusual situation because you've got the hens that are clearly prey animals, but roosters blur the line of predator. And the intelligence difference is huge between hens and roosters, and the roosters are as good as dogs, if not even smarter. Definitely more trainable, much more trainable. But yes, that is pretty much all I've got for today. Don't roosters protect chickens? Yes, they do. Yeah, which is why they kind of blew that line of predator versus prey animal. My boys have fought off many a threat. They can be mean, but they do get a bad reputation. I haven't met a bad rooster, and the last rooster I rescued actually came from a farm where he was basically about to be dinner, which I hate to say, because he was too aggressive. It turns out this rooster had a fungal infection on his comb. He was very, very undernourished because the ducks on the farm had been eating all of his food, and he had a very, very progressed leg infection that was probably only a month or two away from causing walking difficulty. So this boy was trying to communicate that he was in a bad way and he was unable to protect his girls in a good way. And we got him here, and from the first moment I knew he was going to be a gorgeous boy. I've not had any aggression from him. He knew that we were treating his legs, and he's the best rooster with his girls. And he asks for cuddles now. He's a cuddly boy. So it's easy to see roosters as one way, but really when you think about roosters, they only have very limited ways to communicate in their world, and usually that's going to involve their feet or their beak because they don't have anything else. Hey Neo! Oi, 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 yes. Aussie, Aussie, Aussie. Yeah, he totally knew that we were helping him. And part of the process of treating his feet, he had to have soaks in Epsom salts every night for 20 minutes. And then I would have to rub his feet with Vaseline. And he always went to sleep when his feet were being rubbed. He really liked it. So that's an aggressive rooster for you. A rooster that was apparently uncontrollable. I'm good, Neo. How are you? We're just wrapping up the stream, but better late than never, right? Yeah, and the thing is, sorry, Nuggets. If you get me speaking about chickens, it is difficult to shut me up. But I see sometimes, like on TikTok or whatever, that, the roosters being aggressive, but then I look at the people and they're doing threatening actions or threatening stances to the rooster's girls, or doing things like thrusting a drill in their face to try and get them away from them. And you're like, well, a rooster's entire point is to dote on his girls and protect his girls, and you're there bringing a presence that says, I'm a threat. So of course he's going to react that way. It just makes sense. But like, I think if you're a dog lover and you know that there's not really any bad dogs, it's just bad owners, it's kind of the same with roosters. You're just hanging out. Oh, my life popped up in your suggestions. That's awesome. I'm so glad you found me. Same thing that will affect dogs into reactivity. Absolutely. Exactly. And it's no different with roosters. They are just so hardwired to protect, and that's what they'll do. And if it's against you, well, yeah. But no, my little guy, that's Ziggy, if you've heard me talking about him before, he's a little bantam and he's very, very sweet. He's a good boy. Did savagely attack my jumper once though. I threw it on the ground and he definitely killed it for sure. Oh, you're so grateful. I'm grateful that you were here to be in my live. I plan on doing them pretty regularly, so yeah, I will be here. And I like the premieres too, so I'll probably do those more regularly as well. But I think I need to finish this one up for the day. I always feel so weird leaving. I don't know what that is. But there'll definitely be another live. I plan on doing at least one a week. At the moment, this time slot kind of works in my schedule, so I think it works well with the American nuggets anyway. But thank you so much, everyone, for being here. So many of you were here from the beginning and all the way through. I'm so eternally grateful for that. And Giselle, thank you again so much for becoming my very first member ever. I am astounded and floored by your generosity. Thank you so much. But that's all the clucks I have left to give today. Stay golden, my little nuggets, and I'll catch you next time.